What now? Okay, got it. All right. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Pay Good Beginnings Forward support group. So this is a movement I started last year in June 2020. So it's been 1 year of great work and supported by our holistic practitioners here in Singapore, and they are our Good Beginnings angels. So we have Good Beginnings angels in the house. Okay, one more. Yeah. Just a quick introduction. My name is Choon Yen. You can call me Yen in short. I'm the founder of Birth Discovery and founder of Pay Good Beginnings Forward support group. Yeah, like I said, this is our movement that's supported by our practitioners, Good Beginnings angels here. Support United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Goal number 3, health and well-being. So all of us have a common goal here. Our goal is to help couples, married or not, and parents to achieve families' future health. So it is not just about the baby, but your whole family. We focus on total health, holistic health, which is physical health, mental health, emotional health, and of course, spiritual health. And I will add one more, financial health. Financial health is very important. Yeah. Okay, let me make someone co-host. Dr. Julia, can I make you co-host, please? Can help me admit someone in. Yeah. So professionally, I'm a birth worker. I'm a hypnobirthing childbirth educator, a birth doula. Trained in Good Beginnings. I'm also trained in Psyche, a change process. So the focus is helping individual to rewire the subconscious mind for success. Of course, in the area of childbirth, I'll teach this technique called hypnobirthing, the Mongan method, so that it helps you to be more centered, more relaxed, and reduce a lot of stress towards your upcoming birth and of course beyond. So my focus is on the primal period of the child, or the baby starts from conception to the baby first 2 years of life. In fact, the primal period should start before conception. Yeah, first 1,000 days of our life here. So my passion is in helping couples to achieve a better birth, a positive experience, and of course, so that you can enjoy your journey into parenthood as much as possible. Yeah, my dream is that all babies come into this world healthy and complete without birth trauma and birth injuries to begin their life with. So this is my focus here. So today our topic is on postpartum care and the essential. Postpartum care is so important. Yeah. Why is it important? This is the time you can reset your health. When you do it right, you can really be healthy, and of course you have the mental clarity to take care of yourself, and of course take care of your child and your family. So this is quite a sensitive period for a lot of people. It is one of the quite challenging period as well for mom to recuperate, for mommy to nurture herself and to nurture the baby. Yeah, and so that you can have a better family reunion, yeah, for all of you. So yes, postpartum period is the time you reset, yeah, rebuild your health, because so many things that have been going on. There's changes in your physical body, right? Especially during the pregnancy. Yeah, I would say during pregnancy is the time you connect more to yourself. It is a journey of discovery. You get to know more about yourself, and you get to know about people around you. Of course, when it comes to afterbirth care, so this is a time is all about the whole family. So the changes at this time can be a bit more challenging because we may not get enough sleep. but it can be a very joyful state. Yeah. So we wanted to reduce as much stress as possible. That's our goal, right? From getting pregnant to pregnancy and postpartum care. So we don't want to talk too much. I will share a little bit about what I'm going to teach in the 5 days program. So my session will be on Friday evening. Understanding babies. Yeah, understanding babies, and this is a time for you to get to know the little fellow. Yeah. So may I invite our good beginnings angels here, Sarah Manning. Sarah Manning, who is a yoga teacher, who is a very experienced yoga teacher of 26 years. So I got to know her because she teaches prenatal yoga, postnatal yoga, and she's also specialized in fertility yoga. Yeah, fertility yoga it's one that I think it's good for everyone, whether you wanted to conceive, if you're planning to conceive or not. It's really great for women overall, right? But Sarah is also a Qigong master. This is really interesting. Yeah. So without delay, may I invite Sarah to share with us about this period, the postpartum care and the essential.
Okay, thanks, Yen. So postnatally, we want to work on 3 essentials. The first thing is, when you were pregnant, your transverse abdominis, which goes round the front of your belly, well, there's nothing there anymore because your baby's out. And so we've got to somehow tighten this up and draw it back so that it can actually perform its function again, which is to support your back, support your hips, and give you a beautiful flat tummy. Okay, so people come to me and say, I want a flat tummy. And, you know, when you've just delivered your baby, you actually look about 5 months still pregnant. It's still a huge tummy. So the first thing is to build the strength to support your back. And to be honest, I used to teach back care workshops with a physiotherapist, and we were working with many, many different women over an 8-week period. And I would say, if a woman hadn't fallen off a horse or had a car accident, you could guarantee she had hurt her back in the first year postnatally. Think about that a minute. You have a new baby, you might have a toddler, you might have other children in the house. You're getting used to a whole new life with a new baby. And I'm going to invite you to have incredible back pain such that you can't move. There's no joy in that. There's no joy in pain. So the very first thing we do is to start rebuilding the support of your lower back with awareness of posture, awareness of pelvic floor, transverse abdominis, and the multifidus muscles. These are the main core muscles that we want to engage. So number 1 is support of your back and rebuilding, and it will give you a flat tummy. The other thing is, when you're pregnant and your belly gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the rectus abdominis unpicks and separates, and we call this diastasis recti, and it means that you have two layers, two muscles which have a zip that's come unzipped. And again, this is a sign of weakness in the belly. And again, it doesn't look so pretty when you lift your head up and you see this uneven stomach. So again, with the transverse abdominis, we're actually going to draw those edges together. So that's the core and the belly. The other area that we work on, number 2, is we get so tense in our shoulders. My children are now 28 and 26, and I have very, very clear memory of those early weeks of latching on where you go, and you stop breathing for a while because the latch is just maybe not quite perfect. And, you know, breastfeeding, it's not straightforward, and I'm sure one of our other practitioners will be talking about it. So we we lift our shoulders and we hold tension. Also, we're nursing baby, we're burping baby, we're holding baby, and we are tired. So there's lots and lots of tension building up into the neck and shoulders. So the second thing, of course, is to release that tension and pain, aches. The final part of postnatal yoga is actually about energy. So our energy, our chi, is like a bank account. And we start off with an account paid in. And then every single thing we do, whether it's digesting food, whether it's answering the phone, whether it's responding to baby in the middle of the night, we pay out from that bank account. And in the first month, you've probably still got reserves in that bank account. But when you get to about 6 weeks, as it did for me, then it hit me. That's when I was just overwhelmed with fatigue. And that was when actually I fell to pieces emotionally. So it was actually triggered by energy depletion rather than any particular one thing. So our task is to lift the vital energy and store some more back into that bank account of energy. So we'll be focusing on those 3 things. And you could say it's a blend of Qigong and yoga, working specifically to support postnatal women. Oh, I should just say that it's tomorrow at midday, and it will be recorded, and it would be great if you look at it either tomorrow or beyond. Thanks, Yen.
Thank you, Sarah. Do you want to share what do they need for tomorrow's session?
If you happen to have an exercise ball to sit on, that would be brilliant. If you don't, a chair will do. So we'll just see how many people have an exercise ball. I would anticipate that many of you have used these balls for your childbirth, and so maybe there might be still one around the house. So if you do have one of those, I really encourage, if you don't have one, I really encourage you in the future to get hold of one, because holding a baby and just bouncing on the ball is one of the most effortless soothers of babies I have come across. Babies, you don't have to do anything except just bounce, and there's no energy required from you, but babies love it. All right, so go and get one, even if you're not going to use it tomorrow.
Thank you, Sarah. Can you also share, I think many of them are still pregnant. I guess that the postnatal yoga will be more suitable for mummies who have given birth, right? Can they do it like a month after the confinement period?
So if anyone who's pregnant would like to join the class, they're very welcome. We will not be lying on your belly. And as with all of my yoga, I grade it, because I'm going to have some mummies that are maybe 6 weeks postnatal, others that are 3 months postnatal. And I've had other mummies whose kids are now walking or toddling, right? So I go all the way up to 12 months. And so the important thing is for me to give you, everybody gets an exercise which is appropriate. So I show you how to cheat at many levels, and you just challenge your body appropriately. So, you know, the thing about supporting your back is you want to be challenged, but if you challenge it too much, too hard, too fast, you're going to end up hurting yourself. So it's about listening to your body, feeling a challenge, but not going beyond.
Would that be suitable for me?
Oh, of course. In fact, it's great for grannies too. Very often when I'm teaching in-person classes, we get new mummy, grandma, who's taking hold, looking after baby. And if baby's asleep, then granny has no choice but to join in. And I would argue that most grannies, they're going through menopause. All of the organs down there are shrinking, and stress incontinence. We're going to talk about menopause another time, I'm sure. But pelvic floor exercises is something you're going to do for life, not just in the few weeks postnatally, and specifically in menopause, you'll be doing more. So pelvic floor exercises, they're for life. So yeah, anyone can come to the class. And if a couple of people do have a ball, then we'll play with the ball and sit on the ball and use that to do the class. Otherwise, we'll work on the floor.
Okay, thank you. I'll be there.
Excellent. Look forward to that.
Thank you, Sarah. All right then. All right. Tomorrow evening we have Haja Marathi. So Haja Marathi, who is an expert in massage, all kinds of massage. Just like Sarah, who is expert in yoga, Haja Marathi is actually expert in prenatal massage, postnatal massage, womb recovery. Yeah. And she does perineal massage as well. If you are pregnant, of course, at least 35 weeks, then you can go for perineal massage. Yeah. May I invite Haja Marathi? Are you there? Okay. Well, yeah. Would you like to unmute yourself, please? You can share with us a bit about you and what's your passion and your dream. Yeah. And let's share with us about the postpartum care, right? And the essentials, especially in your work. Haja Marathi, you need to unmute yourself, please.
Okay, all right. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Yeah, my name is Haja Marathi Johari. My name is Haja again. You can call me Haja. And my age is 66 years old. I got 4 daughters, and I have 12 grandchildren. Okay, I'm actually by profession, I'm a nurse, but I explore in UK to get more so-called training in terms of pregnancy and childbirth in aromatherapy. So, okay, I want to tell you that about my passion. The objective is to assist women and mother-to-be. The purpose of this month-long confinement period actually is to nurture the mother health back to the normal state. Right? So becoming of the transforming event and the postpartum period is a vulnerable time of adjustment. So you know that postpartum, our body feeling hot while the pregnancy is hot and the postpartum is cold. Okay, so what is postpartum or afterbirth? So we are looking into postpartum or maybe miscarriage, care, or maybe massage. So the massage is actually to, I would say, to see the clients with so much of things that we need to adopt to create awareness, the adaptation, and the facts, the influence of adjustment. Yeah, so the influence adjustment is from the previous birth, meaning that when they have given birth, 1 birth or 2 births, then the influence, is it the same or not the same, the experience. The second one is the fact is that the early postpartum period is something like from this within 7 days. What happened? Whether you'll be guided by your parents or advice. Sometimes new mother-to-be, actually, they don't really understand about what is postpartum. Oh, you don't have to massage. You know, the last time when I'm young, I don't get massage. So it's not necessary, they say. So again, when it comes to adjustment, you have to see the first 2 weeks after birth and check whether on the early recovery, you have to check on the health recovery and something that you need to monitor. So when it comes to the postpartum, during that period of 40 to 44 days, there will be a sign postpartum and possible problems. For example, that your temperature increased, you got fever, or maybe you got uterine infection, or you have bladder or any infection and or other cesareans in incision, or maybe episiotomy tear or something like that. So when it comes to postpartum, that involves the miscarriage care. Miscarriage care is like before 28 weeks. The most common symptom that would alert us to possible miscarriage is a vaginal bleeding. So you have to take care of your womb. Another one is chemical pregnancy. Chemical pregnancy is a term used to describe a very early miscarriage, usually occurred before 5th week of gestation or less. So if after first miss period, they miss period the positive pregnancy test. So that where chemical pregnancy. And miss abortion also related to the womb also. You abort and then the symptom at all and the fetal heart may be found to be absent during the routine check up, and that is the bis abortion. And actually when it comes to postpartum, what is aromatherapy or what is jamu? So for me, it's just to highlight this thing before I embark with next tomorrow, which will be very detailed on the facts. Okay, so we use aromatherapy or jamu in order to make our body warm, improve blood circulations, respiratory system, digestive system, reproductive system, and so on. So we have 11 types of system in the body that we need to work on. Okay, why we recommended this aromatherapy is because after miscarriage or postpartum, not only help to bring the body back to the state of mind, physically, psychologically, but also improve and release emotional, mental, and strengthen spiritual and lift up its level. So because aromatherapy is so positive that it can expel the negative like tiredness, lethargic, or whatever. So this kind of product or the jamu or the aromatherapy, it benefit not only the tummy, uterus, lifting up to strengthening, to tone the vaginal muscle and ligament, to reduce water retention, excess veins, stimulate blood circulation, and so on. Okay, so what is so important in confinement practice, right? So what is the benefit? So the benefit is the 6th element that you need to understand. So for me, if to create awareness for those new mother who came to my clinic, I will always tell her, not say story, but the benefit of prenatal labor as well as postpartum and one, because all these are birth plan, pregnancy plan, labor plan, postnatal plan, and baby plan. So a lot of plan that you need to understand and how can it adapt during that postpartum. Okay, so not only the 6th element, but other things, let's say the taboo. Okay, the 6th element, as I will mention that is vaginal spa treatment. Why vaginal spa treatment? Have the benefit for all women, whether you are virgin or you are after birth or you are after or maybe the grandmother or even the mother, need that because it helps to detox the blood clots, the blockage at the uterus. You can have the muscle and ligament tone up, strengthen as well. Yeah, and then it helps to reduce water retention, excess veins stimulate the blood circulation. So, of course, when it comes to like that, it helps to reduce the uterus to tone up to its same size, and then you can have more into more slimming program at the same time. You see, so when it comes to postpartum, you need to do the massage. The massage is to improve blood circulation, the whole body anatomy, to get it work from depletion, from tiredness, pains, whatever. So again, when it comes to the massage, it also help the woman to align their pelvic bone, to align the uterus, the ovary, and the fallopian tubes. So when it's not aligned, in next time, then it's very hard for them to be fertile or to get another pregnancy. So it helps in binding. It helps also to, I would say, to align the pelvic bone. At the same time, our groin, the ball on socket, and even the spine and our cervical. So you have to do that to alignment. Otherwise, it doesn't work on the pelvic or the uterus or the womb to be recover faster. Yeah. So not only that, the herbal bath. Sometimes Chinese, they use herbal bath because they said, oh, my pores open up, so much of wind got inside in the body, and I feel so tired, so sick, blah, blah, blah. So you need to have herbal bath, or you can have the flower essence from aromatherapy to lift up your spirit and to, I would say, to lift up your whole body system. That means it's very good to refresh yourself. And then the herbal, another fact is that the confinement food, the drinks, you need to know what hot, or is it cold, or is it you can bring cold water or ice kacang, maybe. So you have to take care on the confinement and the drinks. Of course, the other taboos and 6 element is the taboos. Taboos, confinement, drinks or jamu, believed to keep the body warm. No sex for 40 days for after postpartum, as it is against, of course, our religion, right? Teaching it and not hygienic and healthy. Of course, during you have bleed, and then of course the squatting. If you do the squatting nowadays, is good. The toilet you go, you can sit on the bowl. But if you squat, it's very difficult because your uterus may fall off, and maybe in future, you can get prolapse. So again, they say that, Mom, I want to go to shopping, that 1 week, 2 weeks. No, you cannot. You have to stay in bed. Why? Because if anything happen, your body is very sensitive, then you may hurt yourself and you can get depression. That is the emotional part. So of course they said, oh, you have to sleep at 9 o'clock or you have to sleep 10 o'clock. Why? Why, mommy? Oh, because when you watch TV until in the morning, then you can cause eyesight. Your eyesight can be not visual, can be more blur. So these are the old folks say lah. But nowadays the youngsters they don't care, right? So there's a lot of other things that you need to understand about the adaptation, about the influence, and other things, and so on. So it's just a briefing for me to tell you about postpartum, why it's so important for every woman after puberty to get it clear and to be more healthy on the womb. Yeah. So when tomorrow I have my session for 1 hour, right? So this 1 hour, I can brief you very clearly what happening and what to expect during the postpartum. Because not many people, not many young women knows about the sensitivity of our body during or after postpartum. So what kind of recover, what kind of healing that you can get, because when it comes to postpartum, it affects your spiritual as well, your strength, your hormones imbalance, depression, or you can get moody or mood, so you can get maybe the mood disorder. Okay, so I'll see you, whoever interested, see me tomorrow and at 10 at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock. at 8 o'clock. Actually, I'm just joking. Tomorrow on the 16th. Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much for watching me and
Thank you,
watching me and listening
Marati.
to me.
Yeah. There's so much to learn, right? It's about getting to know the new body. Yeah. So yes, there are a lot of taboo. Whether you believe or not, you gotta experience it to know.
Yeah, a
Thank
lot
you
of
so
people
much.
against the taboo and they get sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
they get sick.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially emotional depression.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Haja Marati. Um. Okay. So I think I would like to invite Dr. Julia. Let's see. Oh yes, Dr. Julia is here. So Dr. Julia has been presenting her specialty in the area of our mental emotional health, particularly getting to know more about your partner. Yeah, deepen the connection because there's huge changes. I think many of you are first time parents, especially, right? And after birth, then you talk about parenting can be a bit late. So to be more on the same page, I think this communication should happen earlier or during pregnancy, yeah, so that you get to know each other. And when you receive your baby, when you welcome your baby into this world, you will enjoy more of the family reunion, so you can reduce a lot of conflict as much as possible. It is not just about your own family of 3 or 4. Yeah, it could also be people around you, right? So I'd like to invite Dr. Julia, who is a holistic psychologist, to share with us uh, um, about the essentials and the postpartum care. Dr.
Okay,
Julia,
thank
please
you
take it
very
away.
much, Yen. So, well, today actually, I want to start off this sharing with a little bit of a anecdote. Like, I see people from all spectrums. So, for example, I see all spectrums, meaning I see couples that further along in their life with children that's already quite grown up, and then they have um, issues to work on. And just a couple of weeks ago, somebody asked me, is it too late? Is it too late to do what? Is it too late um, to even communicate with my child anymore? Because at 20 something, the child is not really communicating much with the parents anymore. And then within the, I mean, and also within the dynamics of the parents, I mean, it's very easy to understand that it's because also the dynamic of communication is rooted in the family. Okay, the parents are not communicating so well at all. So it is a very poignant thing for me to be asked this question: is it too late? Is it too late for me and the dynamic between me and my husband to change? Is it too late for the communication between my child and us to change? Because they are looking at the child growing up at the cusp of the child becoming an adult, and the child is not wanting to relate to them anymore and have communication issues. So the thing is, I want to pull this back all the way down to this point, this happy moment, this blissful moment where you're starting a family. And, you know, this is a place where it's great to take perspective and to really focus on why you're doing this in the first place. You know, it's like, why do people start a family? What is the joy and satisfaction in having a family, having a child, in even having a partner, even being married? You know, it's like if you get married and you don't consider these things, and you're not being able to um, go on it is a journey that you go on. And if you're unable to go on this journey happily in or in a mindset that enhances the growth of everyone, and also the um, communication, intimacy, and happiness, then it will be a problem much long further down the road. You will see the fallouts of that situation. I'm feeling a bit sad, of course, when I was asked that question. So it stuck to my mind for a bit, and I thought I would share it with you and put some perspective onto this. You are starting on a journey, and now the rubber hits the road and baby has come, and husband and wife, your relating, your dynamic is beginning to have impact. Okay, you might be two persons in a flat, in a nuclear family somewhere in Singapore, very typical. But now there is a third person there. And how your dynamic plays out will influence and also imprint on this new life. Imprint. Okay. So the dynamic. So what are the dynamics that people further along the road who have trouble, they look at? First of all, they realize that it is all about expectations. They don't quite know each other. They realize that they don't know how to meet each other's needs, and they don't know how to communicate them. And especially in the area of postpartum care, when needs are not only yours, but also the husband has needs as well. How do you even be able to make it a request that is heard, that is received, rather than sounding like you're making a demand of the other person, you know? And if you're not able to be at a place where you're able to metacognitively talk about the way that you talk, okay? Metacognitive means you're looking at, let's say you're a fish, but you're looking at yourself in the fishbowl. You're able to, have a conversation about, the way that you said it just now, I'm feeling a little bit troubled or something. You must be able to have that kind of conversation, and to be able to complete it, to be able to find fruition in this kind of conversation. It shouldn't be sensitive matters brought up, people get riled up, triggered, and everybody leaves it in the air and not do anything about it, which is what happens a lot. Let's tell you that it happens a lot because people do not have the skill set to have difficult conversations. Yeah. And they're not practiced into going into the deep ends. And these are the things that actually matter. And these are the things that actually you can find fulfillment, and you learn how to iron things out, you learn how to go through life. Life is not only a matter of just like live and let be. Of course, that's very important. But But if you have the additional skills of being able to communicate with each other in a way that meets each other's needs, that truly can shine and express love in the way that is fully nurturing and expanding for your partner, why won't you want to have that? Because that will be the ground that will nurture the ecosystem of your family. And your child's going to learn how you talk to each other, how you relate in a way that is respectful to yourself and the other. All these things are wordless, but they pick it up. It's not taught directly as if you're transmitting something like a value, but you pick it up because you enter the matrix of an ecosystem, and immediately you learn these things. These things get imprinted on you. So another big thing that couples have difficulty on further along the road, when it becomes very difficult to change, is the dynamic between the understanding the dynamic between the man and the woman, how a male and a female relates to each other. How, in fact, a lot of Singaporean, I would say a lot of households, modern households, have become a place where um, the male do not own their masculinity, and then the female take on too much of the pants. um, I don't want to typify it that way because it doesn't look like that all the time. But I must say it's quite a kind of like a evident dynamic that is constantly played out. And these kind of things, if we are not aware of it, it becomes already deep set in the way that we behave, in the questions that we ask, in in the way that we express ourselves. And sometimes love, what is love? You know, love is a place where people tread carelessly just because there is a willingness and receptivity to want to please the other person, right? So these are the beginnings of relationship. And when people take advantage of this very soft ground, and as they go along and patterns get set, and sometimes really bad willful patterns, then it becomes hard to reverse because it becomes like a habit and an unawareness. And uh, our brains are not something that is, I don't think that a lot of human beings are very practiced experts and masters in emptying the mind. I think that it takes cultivation and at a very, very high level. But instead, human beings, when we go into patterns of unconscious behavior, our brain synapses and wiring also gets changed. So that means it's not only habits actually are very, very literal. You can even see them on brain scans that people build habits and you build synapses in certain ways where you reward yourself in certain ways, maybe dysfunctional ways, okay, or in terms of relating. So I must say, therefore, it is very important agenda for me, and I hope for you too, that every single day, how consciously we learn to relate to ourselves and to relate to others, especially when you're a parent and there's spouse and children, how to improve that relating so that you create an ecosystem where it's really loving, transparent, intimate, and truly nurturing and expanding for each other. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about on Thursday evening. Yeah, not well, you may not be able to get the benefits of that full, direct, deep facilitation in an hour, but it's just to give you a taster of what that kind of considerations look like, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Julia. We have already learned quite a bit today. So reflection again. Thank you.
Oh,
so
thank
much.
you. Thank you, Sarah, for your message.
Yeah, right. So I would like to invite Pearline who is the one of the pioneers actually. She's really the pioneer in baby wearing, and she herself have actually benefited from baby wearing, right, to improve your posture and back instead of damaging the back, especially carrying your baby is not easy. No, I couldn't do that. Yeah, so
I did that for a long time. I did that.
You did that for a long time.
5-6 years. Yeah.
Oh, my helper carry my baby. Happy for her to do that. So, Pearline, please share with us. Yes, the essential for postpartum care. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, Choon, and thank you very much for putting all of this together. I think it's going to benefit a lot of people if they join us on this series of workshops. And I'm Pearline, representing Baby Slings and Carriers. I founded it together with my husband in 2007. So that's about 14 years ago. We actually are the pioneers in this industry. when we started out, people thought, I mean, we get a lot of questions from suppliers and people around us asking, why do you want to do something like this? It's just baby carriers, isn't it? Why don't you just buy some? It's something that you buy in a store and, you know, live with it, and it's just, you're just going to carry your child for a couple of months and then that's it. Well, for most of us with children, we know that that's not going to happen. A lot of caring is going to be done, especially if you don't have a helper like me in the past when I had my first child. Okay, what happened is I have 3 children. The eldest is already 17 years old and the youngest is 7 years old. The first 2 are about a year apart. So what happens is that, why did I get into baby wearing? That's because I didn't. Choon Yen, you're very lucky. You have a helper. I didn't have. I was all alone, and my child happens to be a high need baby. All right, so she demanded to be carried all the time. She only takes 5 minutes to 15 minutes naps. Nightmare, because breastfeeding is every 15 minutes as well, which is again another nightmare. So as a new parent, I didn't know what to do except to carry her, because otherwise she'll be crying throughout, and that's not going to help my emotional state of health, right? So so with that, I ventured into different ways to carry my child, and fortunately then I was gifted actually a very humble sling. So you know what's a sling? A sling, the ring sling, where you have something across the shoulder, and that was a gift from a friend, and it took me 2 months to actually learn how to use it. I was practicing every day at home. I didn't have anyone to guide me, so it was very confusing actually. And back in the past, 17 years ago, we don't exactly have places where we can learn anything. I think internet was actually also quite new, fairly new, in a sense that there wasn't instructions much on, or that you can search it up. Not like today. Today we have a myriad of information. And I also have a baby carrier that I bought off the store. Like everybody says, just go to the store, buy something to carry your child in. It didn't work out. I think Julia mentioned about having backache. Sarah mentioned about something about postural health and stuff like that. So what happened was that that carrier didn't work out for me because I bought it cheap, like every parent out there. New parent, baby fair, or then we didn't have baby fair. There was a sale, and then you just hop in, you buy everything you need in the first trimester. Big mistake. Because you're gonna find that it either doesn't work for you or it's spoiled, and it's like a couple of months down the road when you get to try it. There's nothing you can do about it. You live with something that's not working out for you. So I didn't use that. I learned how to use the ring sling, humble ring sling, and that's where I started. I carried my child everywhere. As soon as I learned how to use it, I was able to go around without help. And I think a lot of parents around me saw me doing that, and believe it or not, but around that time when I was doing all of that, a lot of new moms around my area actually also didn't have help. So they started asking me, how do I get around, especially when the apartment that we stay in didn't have lifts at every level. So it's tough to bring a stroller around. They couldn't get out of the house. So I get a lot of questions on how to make it work for them, and taught them how to do so. So in a way, I can see how much that has helped me, as well as the parents around me who struggled with taking care of their newborns and subsequently babies. And because I was so proficient at using the ring sling, I also had a period of time, because within the 2 years I had another child, so they are about 1 year apart. I realized I've got to carry both at the same time, and the oldest was getting really heavy. And like Sarah says, back health is very important, right? Attend her yoga session starting tomorrow, all right? So if you want to learn about back care, but for myself, I didn't know about all of these things early in those days, and I actually hurt myself pretty badly. There was a period of time I had to spend like maybe 2 weeks in bed because the usage of ring sling is not a bad thing, but the thing is that knowing what are your limits, knowing how to use it appropriately, using it for the right age, the right kind of weight is actually very important. All right, I cannot stress enough the importance of the right tool for the right age and for the right purpose. For example, we shouldn't be using a ring sling that puts weight on one side of the shoulder. Yes, it may be across the back, but if you're going to go hiking in something like this with a 12-kilogram child, you're going to get hurt. And that's real. That's what happened to me. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. So it took me a little while to understand all of this ergonomics. And I started to actually study into it because I have taught so many parents around me then before the birth of baby slings and carriers. And I didn't want them to go through the same thing. So I studied into it. Then there wasn't very much about ergonomic baby wearing. So it was a lot of trial and error, and we didn't have that many products back then. Since then, of course, with the number of kids, the 2 kids, I've got to use different styles of carriers, and I also figured out that some carriers, while they look ergonomic, it might not fit everyone. For example, your clothes and shoes, not every pair of shoes at size 39 is going to fit everyone with a size 39 feet, for example. The cut can be different, so on and so forth. Of course, we haven't even talked about preferences. Dad, mom, whoever is using the carrier. How about the baby size? So with that, my passion is actually through baby slings and carriers is to help parents understand the dynamics of getting the right fit, how to choose a right carrier, and guiding them through a purpose-driven approach towards making an informed decision so that they can choose something that works for them, parent-centric, and also results in optimal positioning for the baby as well as the parent themselves. Because it's not just about babies. A lot of times we get clients coming to us, whatever's best for baby. We tell them, no, it's got to be best for everyone. We got to get the right fit so that it works for the baby. The baby is healthy. You have to be healthy as well. You got to protect your postural health. Otherwise, if you are down, nobody's going to take care of your baby. I mean, well, you get a helper, yes, but imagine if you're going to be lying in bed like me for a while, then you can't oversee everything that's going on with your child as well. So that's very important to us. Our dream through baby slings and carriers is actually to cultivate a very strong and healthy knowledge-based baby wearing culture, so that today what I'm sharing here is only to a small group of people. But imagine you are empowered with that knowledge to say, hey, I'm looking at this new carrier in the market. Does it make sense? For example, a hard seat. You're putting a small baby without strong back on a hard surface. Does it make sense? If you're putting baby at the side and you're tilting your pelvis to the side, does it make sense? So through baby slings and carriers, we hope to cultivate strong baby wearing knowledge-based baby wearing culture, so that even those people who are not parents yet, or who has never done any baby wearing for certain reasons, they are able to tell that, no, this is not right. So let's question it. Every product that comes out, there's always a lot of marketing. There's a lot of money that pours into it, all right? But we shouldn't blindly follow that. We have to understand, trust our own judgment, be able to make a judgment about the product itself. And I hope because of this community, that new parents are empowered with the same kind of knowledge, because it can be imparted. So let me share with you an example. I've got a Hungarian lady and her friend who has a family with young kids come to our showroom before. We operate a physical showroom, and basically people come to us for fitting advice. And what is it like with this Hungarian tourists that they came to us and then they just wanted to speak with us and want to get something from us? And what happened is that this lady, she's not married, she's only a teenager, she's not even 20 years old, and she asked us about our opinions of what you see as the hip seat carriers. I'm not sure how many people are aware of what is a hip seat carrier. So basically it's like a waist pouch, like a fanny pack that has a hard seat and then a carrier panel on the back, and then you strap it on yourself. And they said they see a lot of that in Singapore when they touch down. And they told me they would never see something like that in Hungary. Then you ask, why? I mean, we have our reservations about products like this because it puts a lot of pressure on the baby's spinal cord. And when they are really heavy, because it's like a board out, then when they sit at the edge, it actually affects the parent's health as the posture as well, because it's like a pivoting board. All right. So we shared with them like our opinions, and this young girl who's a teenager said, it's so sad. Why don't people hear question? It's like everywhere. So what I'm trying to share through this example is the fact that why don't people question? We should question. I'm not saying something is good or bad, but given the facts, we should question whether is it good for us, whether is it good for baby. I think it's really not rocket science. Baby wearing is really not rocket science. But if we could stop for a moment, cut out the marketing fluff, think through our mind, how is it like? And we can actually achieve optimal positioning for the baby, resulting in better postural health for the baby as well as for the parent. And I think today, the challenges that parents face in postpartum care is the decision whether to carry their child or not. How should they carry a child? I mean, last time I have lack of products, but now I have. Okay, you can find all sorts of things at baby slings and carriers, but let me just quickly share is that with a myriad of carriers and options out there, which is appropriate for you? Should they all be ergonomic options? Have you considered the age of the child? And so on. And in the attachment parenting, we talk about meeting the child's need as well. So a lot of times today, even as people become more knowledgeable about attachment and why should we do it, that kind of stuff. Of course, there are different schools of thought, and typically older grandparents may actually question parents' decision to carry their child. Is it right or wrong? That kind of stuff. And ergonomic carriers with a wide base, would the child end up being bow-legged? So, and what about a child who's maybe about 2 years old and he's being carried? So you always hear people older folks asking, sometimes older folks, okay, I'm just making a generalization, please don't please don't hit out at me. Okay, I'm just making a generalization. But what I do hear from a lot of parents say is that people do question their decision to carry their 1.5 years old or 2-year-old toddler who fell asleep. Okay, would you carry your child? Answer is, as a parent, you would, right? How else do you get around? But whether you're using your bare arms or using a carrier, it doesn't matter. The child is asleep. We are trying to address the issue, carrying the child so they can get about your own activities, but yet they are being judged on carrying their child. So these are some of the challenges parents face apart from getting the right feed, because today we have so many products on the market. We've got a lot of marketing dollars floating around. They get bombarded with too much marketing, and they also feel a little bit of a peer pressure if I've got this group of mummies who are using a certain brand and or certain style of carrier, and everybody suddenly wants to go into it. But have you considered, does it work for your lifestyle, for your situation, for example? Okay, so I think that's important, some of the challenges that parents face. And baby slings and carriers provide the solution where people can come to us and actually get advice, and we watch people through all this. If you join me on Friday's session, 12 p.m., I will be sharing more about baby wearing basics and how to carry your way to a calmer, healthier, and smarter baby, as well as a happier and healthier you. Okay, so parents, it's going to be a live session this Friday at 12 p.m. If you have not signed up yet, you can sign up for it, or there's going to be a recorded version if, let's say, you can't join us for the live session, because I hear from Choon that maybe 12 p.m. is a little bit challenging for some people. It's right in the middle of the day. So yeah, catch the recorded version, and I'll hand it back to Choon. I think I have burst my time limit. Thank you, Choon. That's all from me.
Yeah, thank you, Pauline. Yeah, I can definitely feel your passion. Safety, we talk about safety here, right? Safety is so important. And because this involves your baby's development, and it's not just that. It's all about helping to calm the baby. Attachment, yeah, we've always forget about that, especially in some culture that there isn't much connection with the baby. So that's one of the area that I'm going to share as well. So yeah, thank you very much, Pauline, for sharing so much about understanding about the safety, the economy of baby wearing. I actually, although I don't wear my baby because I couldn't, but I definitely agree to baby wearing. So for my teaching on Friday evening, coming baby is actually one of the classes that I teach, partly because even as a second time mom, I actually did not know all these. Yeah, we always thought, okay, my topic is about understanding baby. Yeah, understanding baby is so important because postpartum period, mother especially will go through a lot of challenges. I would say there some challenges is there, not enough sleep, it is one of them. Fatigue, especially recover from childbirth experience, which a lot of people are not getting are not achieving natural birth, especially if you have drugs or cesarean, but the recovery can take some time. Yeah, so so to cope with that, and on top of that, if you are not able to understand your baby, okay, understand about your baby's basic needs. It's not just about hunger, it's not just about feeding. And I see mothers, especially some mothers, even their experienced mom, okay, including my partner's doulas, make I would say made a mistake because I understand what trauma is. Okay, so all our human pattern, okay, they always think comfort feeding. Yeah, who believe in comfort feeding? Comfort not necessarily means feeding. So this is a common, I would say, common mistake, at least in my opinion. Yeah, that it is not the right things. May not be the right things to do. At certain time, yes, maybe you can comfort your baby, but it's not necessarily feeding. So the pattern that we actually cultivate is when you are stressed. How many of you are stressed and would like to reach out to food? When you're stressed, you eat. When you're stressed, you eat. Where did that pattern comes from? Yeah. When mothers, every time the baby cry, they thought baby is hungry, and they put the boob, shut them up. Okay, you shut them up with the boob. So that's not something it's healthy to the baby. So the baby's needs has not been met in that sense. So I will cover a bit more on understanding your baby for newborn baby. If you are able to understand your baby and get to know about yourself, so mental state, emotional state, of course, the physical health is important. When you're healthy, then you have mental clarity. If you are so tired, it's gone case. You don't have that mental clarity to really connect with your baby and feel what your baby wants. So we will talk about how you can connect with your baby intuitively. Yeah, so because a lot of us are very much in our left brain, especially you will know yourself whether you are more in your thinking mind than intuitively connect more with this little fellow who just come into this world and everything is so new, right? Yeah, so I will touch on that. So if you have not, if some of you have not signed up, you can sign up at this link that I'm going to share with you. So the program is only $20 and you have a recording. There are a lot of good stuff that I invite practitioners and our good beginnings angels to teach their proper class 1 hour each. Yeah, so I hope that you will learn a lot so that your journey into parenthood is as joyful as possible and reduce a lot of stress. So every month, the third Tuesday of the month, we will come back to this topic about postnatal care and baby. So mother and baby, of course, although we use this term mother and baby, we don't forget about husband, we don't forget about partner. Yeah, partner experience is it is as important as mother and baby. So it's all about family. So that's why the title is about postpartum care and family future health. So at the end of the day, it's about family future health. You want happy family that bring you together. Yeah, we have already at 9 plus. If you do, you all have any question before we end the session? Does anyone have any question? No, if not, you can join our live session. So tomorrow, Sarah will be teaching postnatal class. Yeah, the postnatal yoga. If you can join her live, it'd be good. Prepare your mat. Have your early lunch at 12 o'clock. Join her and get some workout, and so that you can continue your second half of the day and continue to work if you work. If you have already welcomed your baby into this world, of course, congratulations. You can bring your baby, right? I think you welcome baby. Do you, Sarah? Yeah. So Sarah, welcome baby, mother, and baby do yoga together. Okay.
Yeah, we just wear babies, right? Of course, Pauline.
You can wear your baby and do yoga at the same time, huh?
Of course.
If you hurt your back, then you know who you should look for.
Well, usually, of course, I mean, obviously, we don't wear a baby that's, there's a certain kilo.
Yes.
Once your baby reaches a certain size, we don't do yoga with babies attached.
No,
But,
12 kg, you know.
4th trimester, of course, we want them attached.
I'm lucky my babies are all small size like me. All right, then. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today, tonight. I hope to see you again tomorrow, and of course for the 5 days and in the future. Yeah. Have a good night. Good night. Yeah. Bye. End the session.